One of my most interesting experiences drinking was a night I was in first came out here for college. I went to
Okay.
CCB and I was renting a room from a guy who worked for the railroad.
Good stuff.
And one of the other roommates there, he was a veteran, so invited me out for Veterans Day, and he was like, "Dude, it's the best thing ever. People buy you drinks and
Oh,
stuff."
yeah.
I was like, "All right," so I'll go with him. He's gonna get drunk, and I'm gonna hang out and drink too, But I went up to the bar to order a round for the table,
Yeah.
right? So I walk up and I order, I think it was like six Jaeger bombs. I ordered six Jaeger bombs. I'm standing there. And this guy next to me, he had ordered the same thing apparently because when my drinks came up, she put six Jaeger bombs
Mm-hmm.
and he went to grab them. And I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm grabbing my drinks." I was like, "You ordered six Jaeger bombs?"
Wow.
And he goes, "I ordered four." I was like, "Well, these are six and these are my six,"
Yeah.
you know? And so I think he went to get it again. I smacked his hand. And in the moment, I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just more like thrown off of like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah.
Like she pushed him towards me. I'm trying to grab and you're like, so I slapped his hand. When I turned to him, he's like a foot bigger. He's like a foot bigger than me. Just
Those are my Jaeger bombs.
corn fed dude, bro. Corn fed like a motherfucker. And so I turn and look at him. I grab the drinks and I go to like churn.
Uh-huh.
When I'm churning, all of a sudden I see his body shift against the wall, and the waitress, the bartender, the chick, had her elbows out and she pinned him against the wall. And I was just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Security comes, they grab him, they take him out. I go put my drinks on the table, they come get me and take me out. And I'm like, "Hey, what did I do?" They were like, "Oh, you guys were having an argument." I was like, "Nah, he was trying to grab my drinks and then he was tripping." They're like, "Well, they said that you guys were going to fight." I was like, "What are you talking about?" So she comes out
Yeah.
and she goes, "No, he was grabbing his drinks. He tried to take his drinks and the guy was going to sucker punch him." And so she saw that he was going to sucker punch me and she brushed that fool against the wall.
Okay.
And so I was like, "Dude, that dude would have knocked me the fuck out, bro."
I'm still stuck that the chick bartender pinned him.
Yeah,
you said
and
he was
had a
cornbread fed.
She had a whole technique, dude. She had one foot planted back and the other one forward, and then
Yeah.
she just leaned forward with her elbows around his body. Like she didn't grab him, she elbowed like that. And I was just kind of like, she's done this before.
Hell yeah.
And so I was just like, what the fuck? And I went back to my table and I was like, what? And then I was thinking like, oh, they kicked that fool out. No,
Yeah.
he comes back in. And then he comes over and he apologizes. He's like, "Hey, bro, I thought they were my drinks." And I mean, I'm a hard-headed fool. So I'm like, "You ordered six Jaeger bombs?" He's like, "No, I ordered four." I was like, "Okay, well, those were six, so they're not your drinks, bro. Don't be
Yeah.
grabbing people's fucking drinks." I was still fucking
You
like,
couldn't help it, huh?
I couldn't help but say fuck it,
Petty
dude.
ass. I love it.
But she was experienced enough, unless he had his hand up in the air, like I don't know, but she freaking
She saw it right away.
She saw it.
Good
She
for
saw
her.
that shit.
I don't even know her. I'm turned on already. It's awesome.
Short chick over on Callaway. I forgot what bar it was.
Oh, okay.
But
I never really venture out that far.
this guy wanted to go there for drinking. He liked that spot.
Yeah.
That night, I'll kind of go off on the story. So that night, that veteran dude, I remember he goes, "Let's go." So I was like, "All right." And he's like, "Who's driving?" And he goes, I'll drive." So I was like, "Okay." So we jump in the car, and then I wake up in my bed, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, I don't even remember getting home."
Dude.
So I walk over to the kitchen, and as I'm walking to the kitchen, I see out the window that dude's car or his truck is parked across the street.
Yeah.
Which I thought was weird. Like if I'm drunk, I'm not gonna park across the street 'cause it's gonna be hard to get to my house. So
Straight up.
I was like, "Was there a party last night?" I was like, "Damn, there's all kinds of shit going on, and I'm not even aware." And so I'm making my breakfast, and he comes downstairs, and he's like, "Yeah, that was wild, man." And I was like, "Dude, I don't remember getting home." I was like, I had too much. I don't remember coming home. And then he's like, "Nah, man, it was fucking crazy." He's like, I kind of blacked out, but there's a few things I remember now. I was like, "What happened?" He's like, well, let's go see my truck."
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
I'm
shit.
like, okay. So I go and I see that his oil pan is busted. There's like oil down there.
Oh,
And
damn.
I'm like, "What the fuck?" And he goes, "Yeah, we busted the oil pan last night." And he's like, "Take a look inside." I open the door. His inside of his car is like trashed, bro. Just trashed. All the seats are pulled up a little bit. All his CDs are broken on the ground. And I was like, "What the fuck happened?" He's like, "Bro, I have no idea, man." He's
You
like,
guys had a hotel party in the fucking car?
so what he was able to recall for the rest of the day, which I don't recall any of it.
Yeah.
But he recalls. He said that So where we were living at, we take Callaway, and if you go all the way to Harris,
Yeah.
that's where we lived. You know,
Okay.
one turn. You know, from getting onto Callaway and then go all the way straight down to Harris. That's all you had to do to get where we lived at. Well, he said we ended up in a field, and that we were running out of gas, and he was like trying to figure out like how he got lost. And I kept telling him like, dude, we have to hit something eventually. Like there has to be like a gas station or a main road. And then I think our phones were dead.
Damn.
And so he said he just kept straight, right? He's like, I'm just gonna go straight. And so he kept going straight, and then he said he saw like a shell like way in the distance, and that he ran out of gas.
Fucking Mirage.
He said we hit a crazy ass dip, and then he ran out of gas, and then that I was passed out, just hella passed out. And he's a little dude, and so he was like, get up, help me. And I was like, just fucked up, just sleep. And then eventually he goes, bro, I'm just asking you, help me push this car to the gas station, and you can sleep all you want. He's all frustrated and shit.
Yeah.
And so he says, I just go, ugh, and I get up, I go to the back of the truck, I push it to the gas station, I get back in the seat, and I knock it back out.
Fuck.
He said I pushed it all by myself, all fucked up.
Hell yeah.
He's just,
Superhuman strength because you're faded.
And he just drove it into the gas station.
Dude.
That's
wild, man.
He had crazy problems after that. I think his car didn't want to work.
Yeah.
So he had to figure out a way to get some money so he can pay for it. He said it was all fucked up, but he doesn't remember how the car got trashed.
Yeah.
And, we were hella fucked up.
I've been there, man. I've been there a couple times. I wish I can say I haven't, but I have.